Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners.
I am the Rambling Madman.
I have this feeling, man, because there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. It's not I'm not a conspiracy nut.
Motherfuckers are so sensitive, the whole country is turned into bitch-ass niggas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Ramblings of the Madman. I'm your host, Mark Chicarella Jr., a.k.a. the Rambling Madman. Today I'm coming at you with episode 27. I know I sound weird today, so I'm not using my normal microphone. I'm not at my normal computer, and so I apologize for that. So I'm going to cut this short. I'm going to get right into the episode. It's another episode with Jay from the RMM Discord server. If you're interested in joining the server and joining the conversation, go ahead and click the link in the description below wherever you're listening to this episode. So yes, another episode about aliens with Jay from the RMM Discord server, and I will see you on the other side. All right, and for the second time in 2 weeks, we have Jay back with us from the RMM Discord server. Jay, how are you doing today? Congratulations on being the first back-to-back episode guest of the podcast. I'm sure you feel very special.
Woohoo! I'm making history now. And if you're on the Discord, and there's a lot of people joining right now, it's I'm Spooky 138.
Yeah, yep, Spooky. I'm obviously the Rambling Madman on the server, and I posted the invite link on a couple different subreddits yesterday, and we're getting more people than I usually do when I post those links, and more people that are sticking around, and more people that are talking. I think the current state of the world after the last 2 weeks is making everybody panic a little bit more, and kind of looking for some more like-minded individuals, I'd say. So there are definitely interested in the conversation, getting conversations going, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that we have some new guys in the server.
That is a plus. All right, so the whole reason for the part 2, we never even got to go. You heard my experience last week with some weird, who knows what, most likely aliens. Who knows? I don't know for sure myself, but I did not get to present my grand unifying theory of alien activity.
That's right. We're going to get into Jay's grand unifying theory of alien activity. That sounds like a manifesto you should write, Jay.
It is a bit.
And then we're also going to get into the moon landing and all that good stuff. Jay had mentioned it like moments before we started this recording. I was like, let's not rehearse that conversation. Let's have that let's get into that on live on the recording. So, without further ado, what's the first thing you want to start us off with, Jay? With in regards to aliens, what's on your mind the most?
All right, I have no proof, of course, but I pretty firmly believe that aliens are involved in whatever pyramid scheme this world has going on.
Interesting. You mentioned the pyramid scheme. Do you also believe that they had something to do with the pyramids?
I don't know about the very ancient past. Who knows? Probably could have. I really believe a lot of slave labor was used in that, but was it totally aliens? Probably not. I'm not that guy. I can say from like the Roswell, New Mexico, famous alien crash there in 1947 going forward, I have a theory.
All right, so let's hear the theory based on the Roswell crash. I mean, I'm not like a fanatic on UFOs and aliens. I kind of have my beliefs of space and whatever. And I've certainly looked into the Roswell crash and the UFO and the whatever was left over. Back when I was younger, when I was in high school, I looked a lot into that. And I don't know, it seems a little bit fishy to me, everything that happened over there in Roswell. What do you think about it?
All right. I'm of the belief that, yes, aliens did crash there. I mean, that was the first release that they had was, holy mackerel, aliens. crash landed. We have proof. And then they tried to say, oh no, it was a weather balloon. No, I don't believe that. I do believe that, possibly due to just, Earth's atmosphere, the nuclear tests that were going on, that something happened, interfered with the UFO. They crashed. We got, 1 to 3 bodies. There are some theories that a live alien was captured and then released back to the aliens themselves, the Greys. That's who I believe crash landed there. Were the Greys. Eisenhower, of course, gets involved in the 50s, middle 50s. Kind of supposedly they form a treaty with the Greys for technology.
And
there's a yes.
I've
like,
never
hey,
heard this theory before. This is new to me.
Ooh, okay. Yes, Eisenhower has very secret meetings with alien Grey representatives. They basically say, hey, you can experiment on 10,000 people a year, but in return, of course, give us some of this sweet technology.
What was the number again?
Well, I'm just throwing the number out there, 10,000. Nobody's really found any documents that state a number, like how many experiments they can do or how many people they can abduct.
Okay, I thought you were being like precise with that, but okay.
Oh, I wish.
I'm sure. I wish you were too, but that would be very interesting if we had that information.
Yes, there was some kind of treaty. I can put some links on the Discord, but formed a treaty. Everything goes good. We start getting technology. Hey, this is great. More, and you'll see an uptick in alien abductions, like starting in the 60s. One of the very famous cases is the Betty and Barney Hill, where the Greys basically abduct them and show them all kinds of stuff. One of the Greys even almost gives Betty Hill a book to take back that will be like, hey, she's got an alien book. You cannot say this is not something. But they take it back.
The book does the book still exist? Like it can, or is there like pictures of the book out?
No, this is all their story that they regressed under hypnosis. Supposedly, like the head Grey was like, hey, for all this trouble that we just gave you, the probing and whatnot, I'm going to give you this book to take. And then somebody above him said, no, they can't take that. It's a really weird story.
Okay, so they never actually brought the book back.
No, they made it out and then they got the book yanked from them. But she was unable to reproduce star maps under hypnosis that, this lady would not have known anything about. But she was able to draw them and it matches up.
Interesting. I know there's definitely a lot of shit like that in the 60s. I can't think of the name, but I remember reading and watching a couple of videos back, maybe 8 years ago, there was a cult in the 60s that was obsessed with aliens, and they ended up killing themselves and in belief that they were going to be abducted after they killed themselves. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, Heaven's Gate. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. I think that was either the 80s or 90s.
Was it the 80s and 90s? I'm sorry, I must have been confused there. But yeah, that was one of the weirder ones that I've heard about.
Yeah, they believed Halley's Comet had a UFO following it, and when they killed themselves, they would board the UFO.
Wow, that's pretty wild. We're gonna kill ourselves and we'll be on the UFO.
Trailing Halley's Comet through the universe. All right, but back to the 60s. They a lot more contacts, and like I say, there is a big uptick in encounters with Greys. My theory continues on that sometime in the 70s, reptilians make contact with the government.
Now, you think reptilians are different from Greys or the same thing? So I know, like David
No,
Icke thinks that the same thing.
I say they are more likely different. Like I say, the Greys. There's a lot of weird theories on that. They're us time traveling from the future. They're just little biological robots that are controlled by an AI. But I think there is a very large divide between the Greys and Reptilians. They don't have the same agenda. They don't. I don't believe they serve like the same goal. They're not on the same page with each other.
Okay, but you do. So you believe they're different, but do you believe they both exist?
Oh yes. Like I say, I don't have any real proof other than just what I've read.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe they both exist. I mean, like I said, I'm not like the guy who's like studied UFOs and researched all this shit and has been obsessed with them for years. But like, I I do think, in some capacity, like we talked about last week, they exist. Whether or not they're from actually outer space or a different dimension or a different realm or whatever is up for debate in my mind. But I believe they exist in one way or another. And I'm not too sure. Like, I don't know if they would be different from the reptilians. I do like. I haven't listened to David like talk about the Greys a lot, but I do like what I have heard about him, like in regards to them maybe being like the same thing, and it's because I remember a lot of what I have heard about him actually goes back to like Gnostic teachings and stuff about the Greys and stuff. It pretty interesting, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Greys serving the Archons, who are like the AI keeping us trapped. It's a deep
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
It is.
But reptilians, they could be from like the Draco star system. They could be, just the dinosaurs that evolved and have been hiding out here on Earth for, millions of years. Who knows?
So you don't think what's the Queen of England, the old lady? What's her name?
Oh man, Queen Elizabeth.
You don't think she's a reptilian shapeshifter?
Well, she's cold blooded for sure, but I mean, I would give that one about a 15% chance of being true. Who knows? I've
15%
heard
chance.
weirder.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty considerable.
Like I say, I'm not ruling it out, but like I say, nobody has real. The hardest thing about conspiracies is what proof do you have, and with someone that is so far advanced, like Greys, reptilians, aliens in general, it's like how do you even try to provide a proof? Some people have had like, and even from the Roswell crash, they've had like pieces of metal that you can bend it and it will like revert back to shape. They didn't even think about that way back in the 40s and 50s, but supposedly it was there.
Yeah. Staying on the reptilians though for a minute, I just think it's weird. Like, so I remember hearing about when I was like younger in high school, learning about the theories behind reptilians and stuff like that, and then learning about the theories behind shapeshifters and stuff. I remember thinking how weird it was that like all like the real evil motherfuckers in higher ups, like Lord Rothschild, like have you ever like looked at his face closely? He looks like fucking weird as shit. Like George Soros looks like he's not natural. Like all these old fucks that are in power, like they look so weird. Like they could. It's just like maybe there's something there. Maybe David is onto something. Maybe they're not actually reptilians, but maybe they are fucking weird. Something that's weird.
Yeah, there's. I mean, a lot of people, when they try to bring David Icke into it, it's like that's just a metaphor. They're not real lizards. If you read any of his books, they're real lizards to him.
No, yeah, he definitely thinks they're real lizards. I mean, I'm not 100% sold. I'm not 50% sold on it, but it's interesting because they do look fucking weird. I'm not going to sit here and lie. The people in power don't look weird because they do. Especially, I've been watching Biden's press conferences lately, and something's just not natural about the fucking way that he looks. Like when he's speaking and his mouth is moving, it's like the top half of his mouth doesn't move, and it's fucking freaking me out watching him speak. Maybe he is actually a marionette.
Or it's just a big deep fake. Who knows?
That's
All right.
that's actually what I was thinking. Maybe it is, but yes, let's get back on to your aliens. What do you got first next?
All right. So sometime in the 70s, the reptilians are like seeing how the Greys are getting whatever they want from the government. Hey, we've got technology too. Let us in. And they do so. I mean, and it's kind of, right around the big switch from where we go from analog to digital systems.
Okay.
I don't know. Let me give a little breakdown of that, because analog versus digital, they're both used to transmit signals. Digital uses a binary format, zeros and ones, where analog kind of uses electronic pulses to send data. So if you ever like research the gray alien crafts, it seems like they are using like the Earth's electromagnetic field, but some of the other ships don't have that kind of weird motions. They're more digital. Is the best way to put it.
So you're saying the Greys ships are analog compared to the other ships that have been found, which are digital?
Well, I believe a lot of our digital technology comes straight from the reptilians. Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird theory. It's just a theory, by the way. People don't get too serious.
Well, no, it's pretty interesting, and it's a lot of people like they get like turned off by this shit, but like there's like no way to prove that it's not true.
Yeah,
like they'll be like, you fucking weirdo talking about reptilians. Well, there's like literally no way to prove that anything isn't true. So I mean, it's still interesting, and so why don't you break that down a little bit further about the reptilians creating?
all right. Well, I mean, sharing more of their technology. I mean, you got to think we went from the 30s, 40s, 50s with like cathode ray, ray tubes, very, very low technology radio. I mean, which is an analog system. And now everything has switched to digital. I mean, sure, it's a progress, but did we really a bunch of monkeys on a spinning ball in space, make this giant a leap? I can make you a radio. I can make you a really old, if I have enough solder and lead, I could probably rig you up a very dumb computer. But as far as like making a phone or an iPad, I couldn't make one of those.
Yeah, it is interesting, and that even brings me back to like something that like I mentioned it to my girlfriend, but I mentioned a lot actually to a lot of different people. It kind of blows my mind when I sit there and think about technology. So like the Industrial Revolution, the end of the 1800s, the beginning of the 1900s, until now, like up until the Industrial Revolution, we had nothing. Like, and then all of a sudden, 100 years passed, and we had literally everything the mind could possibly conceive and more. And like, it's just crazy to me how much technology advanced within like such a small amount of time compared to like the history of the world. And you think the reptilians had something to do with it?
Somebody has been feeding us tech. I mean, we went from, oh man, this brave new idea of rotating crops to, having the world at our fingertips on a phone. And I hate to say,
it's like it went from absolutely nothing to fucking Star Trek in such a short amount of time, and it's crazy. Like I agree with you there. Something had to have been up, whether it be like we've had technology for a long time and it was hidden from us, or whether it be like somebody came and gave it to us, and that's the fact that the technology was given to us is being hidden from us. Something isn't being told here, because it's just inconceivable the amount of advances in technology we've had over the past 120 years since the turn of since the beginning of the 20th century.
Yeah. And we are slaves to it, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was actually I've been saying it a lot lately. Like I'm so tired of technology. I went on a walk at the end of last week, and left I've been leaving my phone at home more. Fucking, I just want to. It creeps me out. I even have an Apple Watch, and I pay every month to have this Apple Watch on my phone plan, and I haven't used it in months, and because every time I wear it, it just freaks me out. I don't know if it's all in my head, but my body feels weird. It freaks me out just having technology attached at my wrist. It fucking freaks me out, and like I'm just so done with it. I want to go live in a fucking cave or in a log cabin or something, because we are definitely, you're right, we are 100% slaves to it.
All right, back to the unifying theory. Then something happens in the 80s, and Ronald Reagan had a famous 1985 speech. This kind of leads into Blue Beam too, and here is his quote: "Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize the common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world." Yeah, alien threat from outside this world. So I think that's about the time at least some logical thinkers may have been like, hey, we're giving a little bit too much power. They're kind of taking over. I mean,
so when you hear that quote by Reagan, you think he was actually being honest and like trying to warn us? Because when I hear it, I feel the first thing that pops into my mind is this is just like a psyop that they've been planning for years, and now like we're getting closer and closer to them actually using like threats under aliens as a way to control us. Is what I think when I hear that quote.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, I always have a large set of rose-colored glasses, and I want to hope that maybe it was a warning. I mean, a lot of presidents have done that.
Yeah, I wish I had rose-colored glasses. I don't know. Something just tells me, man. Well, I just have this feeling that maybe Reagan was just laying the foundations for a more sinister plan. But hey, maybe not.
All right. Well, that kind of leads into, like I say, then we have this very steady stream of technological advances where we are slaves to the systems, monitored. I mean, it only gets worse from here.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, my grandchildren, they are slaves to like, oh, give me the tablet, give me the phone, let me do this, let me do that. It's like, y'all gotta learn how to get bored.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you see like your grandkids like that, and like they want the technology, to be distracted by the technology, do you give it to them? Do you just be like, here's the iPad, go fucking play on it, or do you just tell them no?
Now, in moderation, things are good. I mean, and you definitely have to make it a learning experience. I mean, I hear too many tales of people like they just give them the iPad and hey, go off in that other room and have fun. It's like, no, you're going to be reading some words on there. You're going to be you're making up sentences. You're going to be making up little stories. You're going to be using your brain instead of just passively pushing buttons.
No, I completely agree.
But you can tell the indoctrination is there. They gotta have it. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. It also like makes me think about how relatively new cell phones still are. I mean, I'd assume you remember when cell phones first came out in the 90s, right?
Hey, we had briefcase phones back in the 70s, so
and like this technology, like it's like so new to us. Does anybody even really know the long-term effects of it yet? Like we're still in like the beginning phases of everybody having a cell phone on them 24/7. Like 40 years from now, are we all gonna have fucking cancer from carrying these cell? Like I feel like there's no way anybody can possibly know. Anyway, back to your aliens.
Well, I think that's just a little bit of the panic, but I mean, they said the same. They said the same thing about headphones. You know, you got these two giant magnets on opposite sides of your head. You're all going to go crazy. But and again, it's how you use the technology. I'm not going to mention any names, but it was someone near and dear to me. Their child was asking a question, and they're sitting there on their phone, and they give them the dumbest answer to this question. And in fact, here's the question. They were watching the Paw Patrol, so you can tell it was a very young child. What's a bay? And the adult pretty much goes, well, it's a bit of water.
A bit of water?
A bit of water. And they have this device that can get them any information at their fingers right in front of them. So I have to go, well, look, you know, I know it's an inlet, but what separates it from just, you know, all the other inlets? Well, a bay is a curved inlet. You can use the information they're giving, or you can just be entertained by it, I guess. Dulled by it.
Of course. So we're in the 70s with the aliens now. We had the
80s warning.
The 80s warning with Reagan. What's next on your timeline of significant events with extraterrestrials?
Like I say, the technology is given and used. I mean, luckily in the phase that looks like we're in right now, they're just out to make a buck off people, which is horrible. But the surveillance and just the oppression that can be done with this technology, I think they're starting to roll that out more to bring us into that, you know, new world order.
Yeah, I actually I was the speaker. I had him on a few episodes as well, and he talked. I talked to him a lot off the podcast as well, and he has mentioned to me before about how like this technology, like he thinks like all this technology rolling out is to like signify like the new world order and to like represent the merging of humans with AI.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty interesting, and it's really kind of scary, to be honest, because I don't know, it just sends shivers down my spine, gives me goosebumps, all this shit.
Okay, but yes, it is all leading up to, you know, the big reveal. Is it going to be, like you say, Project Bluebeam, where and the theory behind that is that they are going to have, you know, the laser hologram light show to end all laser hologram light shows. Normal people will believe, hey, there's aliens invading. Big Papa government, save us, please.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Space Force now, so I mean, setting up perfectly, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my take on it is this: they have the, you know, hologram spaceships that look like the good alien ships, and the U.S. and whatever space forces join up with the Greys or the Reptilians to fight off the bad, scary hologram aliens. And these are our new friends. These are our new friends.
So you think if Bluebeam were true, they would the bad aliens would be holograms?
Yes. They would probably present like a species of good aliens, like the Nordics or something, as really being, you know, the space Hitlers. They're blonde, blue-haired, or
yeah,
blonde, blue-eyed aliens. They got to be white supremacists.
Yeah. So that actually makes me think of Area 51. I mean, do you think there's alien shit going on in Area 51? Like, Because now I'm thinking
probably
like
not anymore.
because now I'm thinking like the shit that is going on there or was going on there. Do you think that had more to do with the creation of the image of the bad aliens, the creation of the good aliens, raising a race of aliens potentially? What do you think could have possibly been going on there or is going on there, whatever?
Well, before everything got dispersed, because I believe if you go now, it is just a base. But I believe 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even there were some ships there that we got to play around with. We're always trying to reverse engineer the one that crashed. I don't think the government ever really gave 100% of that back. But I don't think there's anything there anymore. Like I say, my grand unifying theory kind of states that the Greys are now, riding in the back of the bus. The Reptilians are in the front. They're not really giving us space technology. They're giving us more of the digital, the AI technology. It's weird.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm along the same lines in regards to it just being a base now. Um, there definitely probably could have been some crazy shit going on there, like you said, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, but there's no way with all the hype around it and the public eye, everybody knows that Area 51 was used for some weird shit, and like there's no way they'd still be doing stuff there now.
Exactly. You don't need that kind of stuff laying around. I mean, especially when we had the great meme of Storm Area 51. It's like if they let it get that big, there's nothing there.
No, exactly. Yeah. No, oh, one sec. Sorry, I'm cutting out here. So we have the warning in the 80s. We have we're talking about the potential bad aliens. And is there anything of significance in the 90s in regards to extraterrestrials? Aside from Heaven's Gate and the cult.
Well, if it is true that the Reptilians are in charge, they are a sneaky lot. They don't like to advertise themselves. I mean, they are the deep cover alien species. Supposedly, they can either take over people or produce an image that our brains see that make them look normal, like normal humans. So they're kind of masters of deception.
Yeah, of course. This is actually a quick side topic here. What is your favorite movie about aliens?
My favorite, and I hardly ever watch it because it just creeps me out, is Communion with Christopher Walken. It's an ancient movie, but
that's not what I was expecting
on,
you to say. But I actually never heard of that one.
Oh man, it is just creepy. Do you know Whitley Strieber, the Communion guy?
Willie Stryber. Let me look him up real quick.
All right. Whitley, I think. Oh my goodness, he's not in my notes. But yes, the movie is basically this writer has this cabin way out remote, and sometimes when he goes there, he is visited by aliens, and it's the Greys, and it's I mean, it's low budget, but it's Christopher Walken. Movie made me afraid to go outside walking at night.
Did it really?
Yes.
Okay. What scared you more, that movie or the orbs in your apartment?
Like I say, that movie was way before the orbs in my apartment, but I would say because I had the experience, that freaked me out more. But up until that point, like I say, I had never been scared in my life like the experience I had in Florida on the last show.
Gotcha.
I'm not a person that gets scared of man, beast, or machine, but I was pretty scared. Did you find Communion yet?
I did. Well, I looked up William Stryber, and I hadn't seen him before, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, he's real old school. I mean, kind of like the Linda Moulton Howe, who was Von Braun's supposed assistant. I mean, what's the Travis, the Fire in the Sky guy, Travis Walton? That
I
was another
believe
good
so.
movie.
Yeah,
Fire in the Sky. I mean, you got to realize I'm an older guy too, so Fire in the Sky was also a very scary movie.
I was expecting you to say Close Encounters. Was your you don't like that one?
It presents, like I say, it kind of presents a false image, like they've come in peace. I didn't really buy that movie as a kid either.
Really?
I mean, it was a little weird. It was a little, but it wasn't scary because they don't. It wasn't a forced abduction on any of the people, and they also brought people back.
Gotcha.
So it was definitely a Hollywood. I mean, it's a Steven Spielberg movie for God's sake. They presented the aliens in a good light.
I didn't realize it was a Spielberg movie.
Yep.
All right, so movies aside, what's next in your notes for us today?
All right. So this, like I say, leads up to Blue Beam. What is your theory on that, Mark?
I mean, it definitely sounds like something that could be true. I mean, I'm not really in a position to say, oh, the government would never do that, because that's one thing you should never say, is the government would never do that, because if you're saying the government would never do that, odds are they are planning to do it, or they are already done it. And I don't know, my whole belief, because like I said last week, I don't even believe that outer space exists the way we're taught that it does. I don't believe in all that. And so I think it's definitely possible that the government could be using this as a way to do the sinister blue beam plan, to prop aliens up as a false enemy. And it doesn't even have to be as something as sinister as them doing it to kill people. It could just be something to funnel our tax dollars into, as we watch the war on TV, like we have on the wars in the Middle East for the last 20 years. It doesn't even have to be a threat to us. We can just go and invade wherever the fuck these aliens are with this Trump Space Force and waste all these tax dollars. So I'm definitely skeptical, and more in line with, if we were to have aliens as an enemy, I would think that it would be more of a falsely engineered alien than a actual organic alien attack.
Well, and I can tell you this, as far as the satanic panic conspiracy theorists, they also have their view on Blue Beam, which is that they're going to project the image of, Jesus, Allah, Muhammad, whatever your flavor of deity is, into the sky and say, "Hey, I'm here, I'm coming back," and then they'll usher in the Antichrist with Project Blue Beam. That's another take on Blue Beam.
Yeah, I've heard some of that as well. That could definitely happen. I think it's more like, I think what's more likely to happen if Blue Beam turns out to be true is that, like I said, they show videos on CNN of spaceships taking off and going to outer space and tell you we're fighting these aliens, and then they use all these tax dollars to send to Israel or some shit. I don't think it's gonna. I honestly don't think it's anything that's going to cause actual.
Oh
harm.
man! All right, sorry to lay this in there. In order for Blue Beam to really work, they will have to 9/11 like a lot of cities. Like,
well, that could happen. That could be true, but then you got to think like I don't know, like we've already experienced so much shock in regards to like false flags. Like I think like there's like a sense of PTSD amongst the public now. Like we've seen 9/11, and now like I don't think it would take much else. I don't think like other than like words. I mean, I could be completely wrong here, and I also see that it could be completely the opposite of what I'm saying, but something tells me that like maybe we don't need another 9/11 in order to justify a war. I mean, Christ, we're ready to. I mean, Republicans in general are fucking ready to go back to Afghanistan already. We just left last week, and really with social media, because you got to remember back when 9/11 happened was 2001. You didn't really have social media in the sense that we have it now. I mean, I think false flags definitely aren't out of the realm of possibility, but I think what is more likely to happen is something big, a false flag event happening that's completely manufactured and fake. Like, for example, we had all those fake beheading videos coming out of from ISIS. And, like, they don't even need to, like, really. They can just fucking, like you said, Close Encounters was a Spielberg movie. They can just create some random scenario and fucking film it in a Hollywood basement, like the Chili Peppers said, and fucking trick us all into believing it. I mean, you're definitely right, though. A false flag isn't out of the realm of possibility, and it's definitely a lot more likely than I think than an actual alien attack.
Well, bringing it back to 9/11, right? The day of, the day after, the week after 9/11 happened, everyone was it's like when you get in a fight, that first hit to the head kind of jars you up. You're not thinking right.
Well, you are right there. I mean, I'm obviously too young to remember it, but I've heard all the stories. I mean, everybody always says like the one thing.
I didn't believe that.
The one thing I found is actually funny that I find that everybody always tells me when I speak to the people who are like in the generation before me, everybody always says they always remember exactly where they were when 9/11 happened, and they always remember exactly where they were when Kurt Cobain killed himself. And I just find that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's like everybody, from what I've heard, it's like everybody was just like shocked and out of it. And it's weird. We're coming up on the 20-year anniversary, and with the way things are going, I've actually been thinking to myself, even though I'm saying all this stuff, like they don't even need to do another false flag. Like right now would be the perfect time for another false flag. Like it's like the perfect storm adding up.
And if they are sitting on this technology, like anti-gravity, directed energy weapons, these guys have been dying to use this stuff for years. So if they can do it under the cover of here come the bad aliens, they're wiping out cities. I mean, it's got to be something big to get the whole world. 9/11 was an American pretty much thing, but if aliens came down and started nuking cities or leveling cities, people would react. I mean, we would have to go help us, Big Daddy government. I mean, no choice.
Yeah, of course. It's that you're 110% right, and I can see it now. What is it? 9/11 is less than a month away. The 20th anniversary. Like I can see it now. CNN saying the fucking Taliban called the Martians here to fucking invade us, and now we have fucking Martians rolling down our streets wearing hijabs.
Oh, it has to be a big, quick. I mean, it's not like they're going to try to have Blue Beam as an occupying force. No, it's just a 1-2 hour theater of the bad aliens doing their thing. Oh, we team up with the good aliens. So here's our new buddies. That's what I think on that.
Now, the good aliens, do you think they would be organic?
Like the Galactic Confederation?
Do you think? But I'm saying, do you think they would be actual aliens?
Yeah.
Interesting, because that would. I mean, my beliefs aside, that would actually be pretty cool, though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a sinister plot, but it would be cool to see real aliens in fighting alongside our soldiers. I'm sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face because it's something that could actually happen. It's like We live in the fucking Twilight Zone. I'm convinced.
All right. Well, the last thing, do you want to talk about the possibility of going to the moon? Because I know we're getting a little bit long here.
Yeah. So what the moon landing? What do you believe in regards to the moon landing? What do you think is real, and what do you think is fake, or do you believe that it's all real?
I believe 80%. I believe that we never went, and it was all, movie stagecraft and glitter, duct tape, and tinfoil. But the 20% of me that can believe is there were some serious hardcore pilots and engineers who were willing to put their lives on the line to do this. That's why I can somewhat believe that they were willing to, go through the Van Allen belt in something, the lunar modules that were basically duct tape and tinfoil. I can believe it because I know some dudes that would be like that, and their NASA at the time did have some gung ho dudes. That's why I can partially believe.
They had a lot of. I mean, wasn't at one point not NASA completely like staffed by former Nazis?
A large portion from Operation Paperclip. Those were like the scientists, the eggheads, but I'm talking about
like Werner von Braun and them.
But the actual pilots, like the test pilots,
the pilots weren't ex-Nazis, but the scientists definitely at one point were.
Okay. Well, and the whole space race is just, to develop weapons anyway.
Oh yeah, exactly. So what I believe with the moon landing, I mean, there's just so much shit that's been proven to be, or has been pointed out to be fake. I mean, like from something as simple as the flag waving in the air as they put the planet on the moon. Like, I mean, I'm not a scientist, but why would the flag wave in zero gravity? Like, it just seems like this little shit. Like, and NASA keeps getting caught with little shit. It's like NASA has all this money. Why are they getting caught on the little things? It's just like, it just boggles my mind. Like, you're getting all my fucking tax dollars. At least fool me the correct way.
Yeah. Oh, I like some of the YouTube videos that they slow down the moon footage like half speed, and it looks like regular. They're just walking and doing little jumps.
Yeah,
and then
I've definitely seen those, and like the other YouTube videos of like this, like space stations in NASA doing videos from the space stations. Like they slow down the video, and you can clearly see the strings attached to the backs of the astronauts, pulling them, or supporting them in the air. It's like I can't, at least buy some more decent technology with my fucking tax dollars than strings suspending you in the air. Like use CGI or deep fakes or something. Like fool me good. But anyway, back to the moon landing. I just can't fathom that we've actually been there. I mean, from the flag waving to the thing that the biggest thing for me is that we haven't been back in so long because we lost the technology. We can't figure it out. Like you figured it out in the 60s, but you can't figure it out now. How does that work?
All right, you want to hear my take on that?
Of course I do.
They found out that Santa Claus was real. Santa Claus was the code word for when they were seeing UFOs. Like, oh, I see Santa Claus on the horizon. There's actually a few tapes that have the mention of Santa Claus, and supposedly Santa Claus was their code word for aliens. My somewhat belief, and it goes with my grand unifying theory, that when we went to the moon, we found their base, and they were basically like, oh no, you're not coming back up here again. You are not welcome in space.
Okay, so you think we tried to go or we got there and they told us we're not welcome back, basically?
Yes. That I really like that theory. That is a 50-50 on that one.
I can see that. I mean, if we did get there, which I honestly don't believe that we did, but if we did, I can honestly see that's a pretty level-headed theory there. Like this is not for you. You're not supposed to see this. Go back where you came. It's something along those lines.
and then they had to get Kubrick to come help with the fake footage. So
exactly, like the Chili Peppers said, space was maybe the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
like I say, my biggest debunker of that we got there was the Van Allen belts.
Yeah,
like a large belt of radiation. Supposedly all, the film that went through that twice on the way there and on the way back perfectly made it through. Astronauts didn't, no big deal to them either.
yeah. Buzz Aldrin doesn't have cancer, right?
I think we all have cancer, but who knows?
Yeah, so do I. but really,
We are the cancer.
I haven't heard anything in the news about Bud Aldrin aside from a few years ago when he punched that dude in the face because the guy.
Oh, for the Bible. Swear on the Bible.
Yeah,
no!
He just swear in the Bible that you've been on the moon. And Buzz Aldrin just punched him in the face. Like what? Like, the one thing you can say about our reality is that it's fucking entertaining. Whether there's some sinister shit going on, you got to say that watching the news and watching, the construction of our very reality, the fabric of our reality, it's fucking entertaining to say the least. I mean, we have a president with dementia. We have a man who's been to the moon but won't swear in the Bible that he's been there, who gets angry when you ask him, so angry that he punches the guy in the face. And we have a reality show president, former president. We have a war in the Middle East, killing terrorists in their own land. Like it's entertaining if nothing else, and goddamn, at least it's entertaining. At least we have that.
that is the truth. It is very entertaining. That was probably the best thing about Trump. He was entertaining. Biden, it's like the entertainment is how are they letting him do this?
Exactly. I mean, as much as I hate Trump, and I hate him with a passion, and I've said it a lot of times, I say it on Twitter all the time, I cannot stand the dude. But like, I'm not gonna lie, when one of the reporters asked him about COVID, and they're like, "Why are you calling the China virus?" He was like, "Because it's from China." I was fucking dying because it's just fucking hilarious, our reality. And it is true though. Like if I didn't have any doubts about COVID, like, and I believe COVID was like a real thing, like, why would the reporter's number one question or concern be, why are you calling it the China virus? Like, because it's if it wasn't a big grand scheme, I would agree with Trump because it's from China, and that's fucking hilarious. That it's high level entertainment. You can't get this anywhere else. I wonder if the aliens are as amused by this as I am.
I hope so. Last thing I do want to bring up with aliens, when practically any conspiracy theory, anybody that says they know exactly what is up, I mean, we're talking like your Greers, your Bob Lazars, your Lou Elizondo, anybody that is, hey, this is exactly how it is, 100%, those guys are liars.
Oh, 110%. I say a lot of shit on my show, but anybody who thinks they have it, they know exactly what's going on, they're either liars or they're full of themselves and they're full of shit. There's no way you can possibly know what's going on. The first thing, I talk a lot about meditation, spirituality, and stuff like that. I truly believe the first step towards enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it, is to accept that you know nothing, that this big vast universe, reality, whatever, we know so little about what actually is, and that leads me to, that's part of the reasons why I believe that we're all gods out here, from the Gnostic scriptures and the Buddhist teachings, that you need to achieve that inner godliness in order to truly know anything. You have to know what's inside of you first, and we really don't. I feel like there's so many people that are out to make a quick buck in this podcasting conspiracy podcasting game, that they're all like, they think they have it all figured out, that there's just They act like they have it all figured out. It drives me nuts. None of us know anything. In reality, we're just two guys talking shit on Zoom right now, and we know nothing about anything. Just as much as all the guys that we talk shit on know.
Very true. Very true. But you have to be able to entertain the idea. You can't just close up and say, no, only the science is right.
Well, yeah, and you know what?
Only believe what you can see.
Led me to a good point, and I mentioned it in the server yesterday, I guess to close this out, I'll end it on a point that's not really about aliens. I love this alien discussion that we've had, and we can definitely get you on again and talk more aliens or whatever you'd like to talk about. But what I mentioned in the server yesterday, and I got to say it on the show. I mentioned the server because I was driving, getting some overtime in yesterday. I was driving, I was having this thought, and I'm listening to the Corbett Report. I don't know if you listened to that, but he had one of his more recent episodes was about trusting the science, and I was kind of thinking, like, it's almost as if trusting the science and science in itself is the new world religion, and it's almost like they just replaced accepting Jesus Christ with trusting the science. It's almost like they took away heretic and they turned the term heretic into being a science denier. And because they saw, I guess they see, Christianity is losing its grip on humanity, and people aren't falling for it as much as they were 1,000 years ago, and we can't control them with Christianity. So what do we got next? Oh, the science. We're going to say that we have these guys that we pay to create information. We're going to say that those guys have the absolute 110% truth in their theories. Well, they're just theories. Well, it doesn't matter that they're just theories because you're a science denier. And it's just like, it's almost like, I'll take it a step further. It's almost like the COVID jab is like, being a Catholic and being confirmed. It's like, it could seriously be nothing. It could be non-lethal. It could be something that affects your fertility for the next 20 years, whatever. But part of me believes that it could be both of those things, and it could also be like this confirmation into the new religion, the new world order, the new stepping stone into believing in science and getting this jab because above all else, you don't want to be labeled as a crazy science denier. And it just makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on with the jab, but that's it's a thing that makes a lot of sense to me. It really bothers me.
It's a good theory. Amen and a women. No.
Yeah, exactly. We are inclusive of all genders on Ramblings of Men podcast. And with that being said, I'm going to shut it down for this week. Jay, it's been great having you on again. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
Mark, it was a pleasure. Glad to be the first in your history to be back-to-back guest. But everyone listening, join in on the Discord. Spooky 138 here. I have crippling insomnia, so I'm always on there chatting.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Take it easy, Mark.
See ya.